best soccer show, backheel.com. Jason Davis, Jared DuBois, live on a Monday night. Monday night football, so to speak. Ha ha, clever. I'm full of puns and stuff.
Oh, I get it. You mean football.
You look fine, Jared. Don't worry about the lighting. Like, I know you're.
I just realized I don't have my light on, and like I'm probably okay right now because it's only like 6 o'clock my time. But
you're getting that lovely natural SoCal lighting on your face right now.
What do they call it? They call it the something hour. I can't remember what it was called. And when they shoot in films, there's this time like right around sunset.
Magic hour. It's called the
magic hour.
Yes.
Yeah. It's what my love life would be if I had any stamina.
We have not wasted any time.
Jay Rodius.
And we are back in. I'm back in my regular digs. You are where you always do your show in your lovely home there in beautiful Ontario, California.
Shh, dude, don't let them know.
I myself last week did the show from my apartment on my couch, essentially. It was all low key. It was we talked about it. It was a little bit more natural Jason, I think. Which again, do you think there's a difference? There's definitely
that'd be the name of your cologne.
Natural Jason. Ooh, I don't know. Oh, speaking of that, okay.
What?
All right. So the subject of showers came up with my girl.
Oh, this is an interesting topic.
Okay, so she's Puerto Rican. I told you this, right?
Yeah.
We had this conversation in which she was telling me that she showers like 3 times a day.
What?
Like she gets up.
I might shower 3 times a week.
Listen, she gets up and she showers to wake up, which I'm totally on board with. That's my move. That's always been my move. I cannot feel awake unless I have a shower. And as an adult, coffee, but it didn't used to be coffee, it used to be a shower. And then since she talked about the humidity and the heat in Puerto Rico on the island, okay. So she's
getting a natural shower every day.
Or she would work out, and that would lead to a lot of sweat, obviously, and then she would shower.
Humble brag.
And then sometimes she would shower in the evening. And I'm like, at least 2, sometimes 3 showers.
She showers more than I move my bowels.
Okay, Eddie in Brooklyn's on the line. I don't know if he wants to jump in on this particular topic or something else, but we'll get to you, Eddie. Hold on. I just got to make this point. So I'm sitting there thinking, wow, that's a lot of I do shower once a day. So I shower probably 7 times a week. I don't think there's very rarely do I go
my wife is lucky if I shower on the weekends. If I shower on the weekends, we're going out.
Well, okay, I feel gross, okay? And look,
I also have a pool, so I gotta say, like, I go in the pool a few days a week. I count that sometimes. Am I allowed to count that? Listeners, tell me, can I count a pool dip as a bathing ritual?
I don't think you really can, but I've been there before. I'm kind of down with it. But what I'll say is the reason this came up, or she told me this, then I read this article, and it was one of those, like, somebody shared it on Facebook things. And it was an article in which somebody made the argument that Americans shower entirely too often and that we need to cut back on the showering and that, hey, you know what? A little natural aroma is a good thing.
Hey, ladies love it.
Nature has built your body to be.
Well, I'm talking about natural Jason.
I don't know. Maybe I'm on board with this, but I don't. And I could totally get away with it. I rarely.
I smell more on the day I shower than I do like any other day.
Okay,
I think my body naturally clogs up at pores, which probably isn't good for me anyway.
Maybe. Look, you dry your skin out with water. That's a thing that happens. I mean, there are lots of reasons to cut back on your showering. I was, I'm one of those people, I guess, privileged, where I just always showered every single day. Eddie, you're on the line. What's up, man?
What in the Sam hell did I call into?
The beginning of the show, Eddie. You know every single time. Jonathan Tannewell called in a couple weeks ago and got us talking about cheating, which we weren't talking about us cheating. We were just talking about the subject of cheating. Eddie, what do you want to take us to soccer? Please do.
I'll take you to soccer in a second. But is the entire topic? Is somebody showering too much? Because I shower like twice a day.
See, look,
too much.
Look, and Eddie is. I'm not saying this is naturally, definitely a cultural thing, but Eddie's Costa Rican, and I know again.
All right, but Eddie, if people in Costa Rica though, are they showering twice a day? Is this an American thing?
Oh no, hell no! It's 100% American because when I'm in Costa Rica, like we need machines to heat up the water, and if you don't back away from the water,
there's a dude on a bike like pedaling and fanning up flame into the water.
Yeah, like a Rube Goldberg machine to get the water headed up, and then as he said, you gotta stand back. Now, that's okay. So Eddie's twice a day thing is an American.
See, I'm just cultured. That's what it comes down to. I'm worldly.
My girl's thing was completely about being Costa Rica. Like she acted like this was a a Puerto Rican thing. Sorry, I get my people confused. And I was like, what? I've never heard of this. And I felt weird because I shower once a day. So whatever. Anyway,
don't let her shame you.
I'm not feeling shamed at all. I was kind of like, aren't you wasting water? Like, damn, that good for the environment?
Fresh and so clean.
Eddie, what else you got soccer wise?
Soccer wise, I was just calling in to see if we can just schedule the MLS Cup final already. You know, my Red Bulls against Jared's Galaxy, and let's get it popping, right?
How big of a match would that be, really? I mean, I know NYCFC is the new glittering golden child, Don Garber's baby, et cetera, but how big for MLS legit would a Red Bulls Galaxy final be? Probably, it could be either spot. But let's pretend Red Bull Arena. Let's act like your boys don't finish on top of the Red Bulls in the standings, Jared. That's a big game. That's I mean, it's cold. It's cold, but it's a big game.
It's cold. I mean, remember that DC match a couple years ago? I mean, that's a tough environment for an MLS Cup party. I'm just saying.
Nothing will ever touch MLS Cup 2013 in Kansas City. Nothing will ever touch that. That was Arctic. I mean, I'm talking like you were an ice cube. You didn't want to leave it was difficult to go from where you were staying to the party. Like that's the part that you didn't want to. It almost makes you not want to go to the party. That's
not a good environment for a final.
No, not really. Not really.
Okay, Eddie, I'm sure
it is so. It's the only way that the Galaxy don't win MLS Cup because if Rebels or anybody has to go to LA to play LA in MLS Cup, forget it. It's a wrap. That team is absolutely stacked. Yeah, and you're going to need the weather conditions to make Robbie Keane play in 32-degree weather. Make Giovanni.
I'm not worried about Robbie Keane.
Rather, that's the only chance we would have.
Well, I think that if the Galaxy make it and or the home team, I agree with you, Eddie. I think we're talking 4 and 5, which is insane. But I actually believe, and I got LA as the number one contender right now, but I actually believe that Sporting can trip them up. And it's going to be cold. Let's imagine a Western Conference final between Sporting Kansas City and the LA Galaxy. Not definite. Lots of things can happen. Seattle can get back on it. Vancouver's a good team, et cetera. All that stuff. I'm not trying to slight anybody. But if it comes down to LA and Sporting, and LA has to go to Sporting, I mean, if Sporting Kansas City can make that home field advantage count when they get their leg there, that could be where LA gets tripped up. Because they haven't had that sort of environment before. LA has who they beat in the Western Conference final last year, Jared?
Seattle.
Okay, so they own Seattle. I mean, they're in Seattle's head for the most part. That's a different thing. I know it's 45,000 people, but it's not the same as going to that little stadium in the cold. It's going to be cold in November. With that environment, they do a great job at Sporting Kansas City. They make it hard on LA.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough matchup. For LA fans, you're hoping that someone else takes Kansas City out along the way, because I don't think there's anyone else that really LA is scared of in terms of location. I think LA can win. Granted, their away record isn't that great. They have done better as of late, beating both Colorado and Dallas in the recent weeks. But their home record is ridiculous. So LA in the past few seasons hasn't really concentrated too much on final West Coast standing. They've kind of been lucky in that the East Coast team with the highest rank has been going out. And they have been getting hosting MLS Cup out of the number 4 position, number 3 position in the Western Conference. So this year, I think, though, they're going to need to actually concentrate on this a little bit. And it hasn't been really Bruce Arena's MO, but I think he's in a position where he can kind of be strong down the stretch. And that's always been LA's thing. I think they're in a better position now with a few months to go than they have been in the last few months for sure. And I think they need to go after it. If no one in LA wants to go East Coast for this thing. No one in LA wants to go out there. But I take issue, though, with a little bit, though, Eddie, that Robbie Keane's not worried about playing in the cold.
No.
Steven Gerrard's not worried about playing in the cold.
No. Maybe
Giovanni Dos Santos is dreading that game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Juninho's naturally climbed to it either. I think it's more just a team mentality thing. They are just so comfortable at home at the StubHub Center. By the way, LA Galaxy away to Sporting last day of the season. So that's something to watch for when we get down. Now, those standings we have to deflect.
Just like last year with Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Absolutely. Eddie, you got anything else before I let you go?
Matt Miazga, we had a little bit of a topic at the offices in Opto, and somebody made the very bold statement that Matt Miazga is going to be the first field player to play for one of the biggest clubs in Europe, say a Madrid, a Barcelona, a Manchester United.
Wow.
something like that, are you guys think that he's of that ilk? Do you see Matt Miazga really being that one transcendent player, assuming he doesn't pick Poland, which I don't know why he would at this point, but do you see him being that one transcendent player for the USMNT?
But Eddie, you just hit something, right? He's got the passport. He's got the European passport, so he's good on that front. Doesn't have to worry. Let's say he ends up in England. I'm not saying it's the best place for him. I actually don't want him to go to England. But if he ends up in England, don't have to worry about the work permit. And it's about trajectory, right? I mean, the kid is not only locking it down for the New York Red Bulls. He's done really well at the U20 World Cup. He's got all of those. He's checking all those boxes, Jared.
But passport aside, how's he any different than Tim Ream when he's got the New York Red Bulls?
Oh, I don't think Tim.
A little bit
younger and
good with the ball, good positioning, about the same size.
I don't think Tim Ream was getting the acclaim that Matt Miazga was. Getting.
Trust me. You can't look. We went back at Opta. We went back and we analyzed basically the entire 2010 season. Last season. So I did most of the Rebels games. So I got a really, really, really good look at Tim Ream. Trust me, Tim Ream is not even in the same conversation as what Matt Miazga has been doing this season. Matt Miazga is he's an analytic dream. The man he's way beyond Tim Ream. So I can't really even, welcome that conversation. I think
where I'm coming from, Eddie, is that we just got to be careful when we start anointing these things, because how rarely has it ever come true? And I don't want you getting your hopes up. Listen, and granted, I know you're a Costa Rica fan first. So if this comes off, it's a Red Bull badge of pride, not necessarily a U.S. men's national team badge of pride for you. But
no, it's not even that though. No, I fall in love with players when I analyze players. I have a few players that I really love, and it goes across Liga MX too. So like Matt Miazga is one of them. Orbelin Pineda from Querétaro. If you guys aren't paying attention to him, I would suggest you do. And Eric Gutierrez from Pachuca. I mean, it's just players that when I watch them, when I analyze them, they are just they feel so much better than what's around them, and they're young.
Well, so, Eddie, from an analytical perspective, throw me out
in that conversation.
From an analytical perspective, then, Eddie, throw me out something that's going to blow my mind about Matt Miazga. What don't I know about Matt Miazga that from the analytical side you have to offer?
I forgot what game it was, but it was this season. He set some records MLS-wise from the stats that we've been collecting, where he had the most combined clearances, interceptions, and tackles in a single game. And I wish that I had the numbers in front of me, but we kind of made a big deal about it because, I mean, basically 1v1 duels, Matt Miazga rarely loses. And then you see what he did against David Villa twice, what he did against Giovinco. There was a tackle that he had inside of the box where he got all ball and Gio wanted a penalty, and it was 100% not a penalty because Matt Miazga just won it. There's just something about this kid, 1v1. He wins these battles. With his position, there's something about him with his understanding of the game when I compare him to other center backs. When I do America games and I'm watching Ventura Alvarado, who's an absolute disaster sometimes. I forgot what game he did 2 weeks ago. He scored an own goal.
Yeah.
He's responsible for another of the goals.
It was the first game of the MX season.
Well, yeah, it was against Atlas. I think they lost like 4-2 or 3-1 or something like that. But Alvarado was responsible for 2 of the goals. And I'm watching him and I'm thinking, why the hell is he getting USMNT call-ups and Matt Miazga isn't? Matt Miazga, for me, is at least 3 times as the better center back than Alvarado is right now.
You got to remember, Klinsmann has had a run now of not bringing guys in too early. That's his thing. He rarely brings guys in really early, really young.
What?
Get to the chopper!
Wait, what?
He didn't do it with Giassi Zardes.
What?
He hasn't done with Harry Shipp.
But we've got. He just.
I can't buy that argument.
Outside of Julian Green, who has he done it with?
Okay, outside. You say outside of Julian Green, like Julian Green doesn't count.
I'm saying that listen, that wasn't just let's not act like that was just a on the field call up. Okay, that was get you to sign for the play for the USA type of stuff. So there's other factors there just than on the field play. Matt Miazga ain't going anywhere. He's already playing for the youth national team. Granted, I mean he doesn't lock him in for life or anything, but I just don't know that he has a history of bringing in real young guys really early. He brings guys in slowly.
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, he went with a pair of 22-year-old center backs. John Brooks, he brought in early. Now that maybe you buy that the whole dual national thing, international thing, get him locked down. Maybe the same with Alvarado, but he played these kids at 22 in a competition he was supposed to go win.
Okay, and where would you rank?
Have you guys ever watched William Yarbrough play goalkeeper?
By the way, you
guys are making a mistake with that one. That dude is trash.
William Yarbrough.
Absolute trash. I've analyzed a lot of Lyon games. That dude makes so many mistakes, and he's getting called up.
Yeah.
What's the rush to get that guy in the camp? In all honesty, I would put Luis Robles over him every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Why are you calling him William Yarbrough?
Okay. I'm with you on that, Eddie. And I'll say this: I gotta let you go, Eddie, because we do have another call on the line. I want to get to him before we run out of the show. Appreciate it, man. No, it's all good. Appreciate it, Eddie from Brooklyn. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Eddie works for Opta. That was clearly in there a couple times. I think that Jurgen Klinsmann, just to get back to this, and we all have our questions over his call-ups, Jared. We all question the names that he calls up each and every time. There's always a couple of guys you're kind of scratching your head about. There's guys he calls in you think too early, or they're not playing, or they're playing in certain places. He goes on gut. There's nothing else there. I don't think there's anything else except gut. I don't think Jurgen Klinsmann is looking at is punching numbers into something or looking at stats, checking out what Matt Miazga's clearances are, how many times he wins aerial duels, how many tackles he makes without, I don't think he does that. I think he just watches film and goes, I like that guy for whatever.
And I'm okay with that. If you had the Yogi Low, if you have maybe even the Martin Vasquez, whoever's behind you, and they're going to be doing that part. Even me, I'll tell you right now, I hate passing charts, heat maps. I find that stuff to be so boring. And just like, I have eyeballs. I don't need that stuff. So I kind of respect that part about Klinsmann. I just don't like that it doesn't seem to jive with the rest of our eyeballs. Okay, it's like he's rented a pair or something.
Trevor is telling me that Klinsmann founded the analytics arm for the national team. I did never heard that. If that's true, then maybe I'm completely and utterly off base. But it's the only way I can rationalize his choices. 4-1.
I would know that too, except for Trevor's typing in the wrong chat windows. So I don't have any idea what he's saying.
419, you've been very patient. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nick from Toledo.
Hey, Nick from Toledo. Nick Zuberling. Jared, you know Nick, right?
Yeah, dude. What's up, dude?
All right, go ahead, Nick.
What's going on? Hey, I'm super pumped. Yes, I am Nick from Toledo, but I grew up in the city of Cincinnati, and I can finally call a soccer team of my own. I am so pumped about FC Cincinnati. No matter how bad their stupid YouTube videos were last week, I'm excited.
Have you seen those, Jared? You've seen those,
I have
right?
not seen them.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Trevor, give me a link because I will play some audio. Nick, congratulations on that. By the way, you can totally tell Nick has a podcast set up in his house. The way
the difference in
my studio. So
yeah, there you go. Look, it's great to see Cincinnati get a team. I don't know what the future is. I've heard some things. People that I follow that are from Ohio have said that clearly there's ownership behind that team that's got a bunch of money and has aspirations. So, Jared, once again, we're in a situation where
are they going to rock the orange like in their logo?
I think so, yeah. I think it's there.
Yeah, blue and orange.
Yeah.
Nice. I do like that. I wish someone would rock that kind of combo in MLS. That's a nice combo.
Yeah, it's a little close to my NFL team, but I don't care about that. That's whatever. So
you have to like it then.
Well, kind of. Yeah, orange and blue have a certain resonance with me. Nick, I'm just gonna play this for Jared so he can get a sense. Oh, you know what?
Right.
I forgot. My video doesn't work on my system, Trevor. So never mind. I'll have to go find that somewhere else. Nick, what are your expectations? Are you gonna be able to make it to Cincinnati for games, or are you just gonna follow from afar? How's that gonna work for you?
I've got about a 3-hour drive to Cincinnati. There's only 15 home games, and I was looking at the season ticket pricing, and in the supporter section, it's $120 for the whole season, and so that's actually really affordable.
120.
I mean, a 3-hour drive sucks, but I'm really excited about the chance to root for a team in my hometown. I can't stand the Crew. I can't stand anything about Columbus personally. So the fact that Cincinnati's getting on board and they're actually making an attempt to be a player in the soccer community, that in itself is really exciting. And we've got John Harkes as our head coach. I don't know what kind of a coach he's going to be, but they got a big name draw right out of the gate to be the head man, and that's pretty exciting. They're going to play their home games at the University of Cincinnati's newly renovated football stadium.
I wonder if your first signing is going to be St. Ledger, just because John Harkes admires his style.
Oh, dude. Like, are you allowed to even, like...
Damn, dog.
Oh, my
You're
God.
the pros.
And you know what? That's a little bit of... It's a little bit of a deep cut.
That's a deep cut, but I respect it. Y'all need to respect that cut.
Nick, I appreciate the call.
I do have a question. Real quick for Nick. Nick, does Cincinnati have any chance of stealing Columbus Crew fans?
Yes, I think they do.
Why so?
Because Cincinnati, as weird as it sounds, Cincinnati and the area around the greater tri-state area is more closely aligned more towards Kentucky. Like Cincinnati's kind of its own part of the state.
Yeah.
And the same as Cleveland. Like it's weird. That's why, with elections, it's so weird because you've got three different parts of the state and Cincinnati's its own kind of thing. I think they're going to do a good job of getting a big chunk. And it's not just, fans. You got all the club teams in Cincinnati, all the local kids that play. That's a huge soccer market that they're going to tap into. I think they're going to take a big chunk out of the crew momentum.
All right, we'll find out how that goes. FC Cincinnati going into USL in 2016. Nick, appreciate the call, man.
If I was a Cincinnati, if I was the owner of Cincinnati FC, I so would have called my team Sin City FC.
FC Cincinnati, first of all.
No, Sin City FC.
No. I'm with you. They're going with FC Cincinnati.
Ooh, pardon me for not having their FC right.
No. What I'm telling you is they're going with the Latin style, which I don't get. FC Dallas, FC Cincinnati. Dallas, I sort of get. That's the market. There's all, I don't. Maybe Cincinnati's got a large Hispanic market.
It just at this point in America, it's just like which one feels right to you. Which one do you like the sound of?
Do you know what they passed on that they could have gone with? Cincinnati's nickname, and there's a couple cities with this nickname in the country, but Cincinnati's nickname is the Queen City. They could have been Queen City FC or Queen City Soccer Club, Queen City SC.
While I like that, I think that opens them up to a lot of Midwesterners' very low-brow sense of humors.
Okay, but I'm trying to find some FC Cincinnati videos.
Be the one? If so, enter the FC Cincinnati Be the One contest by visiting fccincinnati.com. The fan with the most points will be crowned the one and receive 2 season tickets for FC Cincinnati's inaugural season at Nippert Stadium. Visit fccincinnati.com today to enter and be the one.
That's not actually the worst though. That's for the fans. That's not there's some internal like for the street team, like go out and spread the word FC Cincinnati in town, and it's like 6 interns like straight out of college holding up scarves going FCC. It's the most
that is the worst anagram or like.
I know it's so bad. It's so bad.
And then what they also do is like they call their goal the fan section right behind the gold net neutrality.
Oh God, Lord! 212, you're on the air.
Yes, it's Gringo Mark calling from New York.
Hey, Gringo Mark, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. I have a quick question for you guys. What do Benny Fairharbor, Ethan Finley, Dax McCarty, Omar Gonzalez, and Matt Biesler have in common?
But your husband hates them all?
One more time. Do the whole list for me again, Mark.
Okay. Benny Fairharbor, Ethan Finley,
all right,
Dax McCarty,
yep,
Omar Gonzalez,
yep,
and Matt Biesler.
Well, okay. Omar's the one. Omar and Matt are kind of throwing me off. Although, Omar's throwing me off because he was in the Gold Cup. Those are all guys who deserve national team time, right?
Yes.
All right. So there you go. I mean, I think that's a pretty. But
you know what though? I'm going to step on one thing, and this is as an LA guy, this might be a bit of blasphemy, but Omar has failed to capitalize on his chances. He's been given chances, and I still think he's probably one of the top center backs in MLS. Absolutely. And I think his club play warrants him getting call-ups, but he's not taking advantage of this stuff when he's getting the looks. Gold Cup, I'm sorry, he didn't do enough to really stand out. No center back did, to be honest with you. So in a war of attrition, Omar Gonzalez still has a position in this World Cup, in this U.S. men's national team squad. Benny, it's just not going to happen. There's not enough way to get enough pressure on Klinsmann to get Benny called in.
Yeah. By the way, just to give us some background here for what Mark is saying. I know. Look, Who Scored is some. I've been mentioning Who Scored a couple of times. They use Optastats. That's sort of why it came to mind with what Eddie was saying. But they have a best 11. They do player ratings. Okay, and player ratings are subjective. First of all, they give Poku a 10 for Thursday night, Jared. A 10.
I don't know any player who gets a 10 in any game, really. But I mean, listen, I love me some Poku though.
But the top 2 center backs in MLS, according to Who Scored for the entire season, 2 guys mentioned on this show just now and previously. Who are they? Who do you think they are? Top 2 center backs.
I'm gonna say Matt Miazga and Omar Gonzalez.
Boom, there you go. Matt Miazga, Omar Gonzalez. So, and look, Benny Feilhaber is best 11 over the course of the season. That's the entire representation of Americans except for Bill Hamid. So I see exactly what you're saying, Mark.
Well, in addition to that, all these guys play college soccer, and I think I'm a supporter of Klinsmann, and I think he's allergic to former soccer players from college soccer players.
Ooh.
I think
That's interesting.
I think in
Yeah, and I think the reason for that is that, as a foreigner, I wasn't born here. It's shocking to read some of the rules that soccer players have. For example, not only the schedule is weird, the amount of games that they have is weird, when they can play semester, but they cannot have contact with professional teams. Obviously, they cannot pay. They cannot get paid. They cannot play with professionals. They cannot try out for a team because if they violating those rules, then they lose their amateur status.
Yep, absolutely.
I think what Klinsmann is actually allergic to is just players with opinions. I think Benny Feilhaber is an opinionated player, and he's not going to shy away. I mean, he was critical of some things with Jurgen Klinsmann. I hear some of it behind closed doors, some of it out in the open early on in Klinsmann's tenure. Matt Beasler, after before the end of the year, after the games, I can't remember if it was right after Camp Cupcake or just before the turn of the year, but he was critical of Klinsmann and the conditioning. Both those guys are blackballed. Klinsmann is a blackballer. It's obvious right now. Josie Altidore is blackballed.
That sounds so bad.
Damn, dog, that's inappropriate.
Sounds so bad. I don't even know. Okay,
blackballer.
Yeah, I've never heard it used that. Like, I've heard about people being blackballed, but I don't think I've ever heard it.
I'm the kind of guy that has the balls to make that a verb.
Oh my god!
Danger zone.
Wait, is that a verb or is that a pronoun?
You've turned it into a vocation.
Blackballer. Yeah, it's a pronoun then.
No, it's a adverb. It's an adverb. He's a blackball.
Someone with more clout than Jason and I. Tell me what that is. Jonathan Tannenwald, this is why he exists.
Yeah, I'm the apparently I'm a writer that doesn't understand any rules of grammar, which really overrated. Mark, you got anything else, man?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard of the Southern New Hampshire University program with the MLS.
Yeah, they've signed up with MLS. That's that college that does a ton of online stuff and has signed up with MLS.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to work with some of the.
I mean, look, you are seeing some changes, attitude-wise. Thanks for the call, Mark. I appreciate it. Attitude-wise towards schooling and soccer. And look, Jared, I've long been the guy who kind of points out, let's be careful about the road we go down with turning a professional soccer development into this machine that just cranks out kids without any real regard for setting them up for a post-soccer life. Like, I want to,
I'm kind of on the other side of this, right? I'm kind of on the other side of this, where it's like, no one makes them sign a contract. Their parents are involved. I mean, people know what they're getting, what they're signing up for with this, and there's no guarantees. And I kind of don't like the cradle them. Here's a net for you when you fall kind of mentality. But at the same time, I like what, like we saw before, with the team like Galaxy's doing, where you're getting your education while you're playing for them. I don't, but and I think we're talking about very young players, right, Jason? We're not talking about the college system. We're talking about very young players.
I'm talking about, but that's the thing. You set up a kid on a path at 12 or 13 years old. He's in a program. He's in an academy, and he's going to high school, and he barely gets his high school diploma. I'm not saying that the teams don't care, but really they're there to get the best out of those kids on the soccer field. He barely gets his high school diploma. He signs a contract at 18, or he doesn't sign a contract at 18. He, for whatever reason, college isn't something he's interested in, or school hasn't been valued, or America's attitudes about that have changed, and he becomes one of those kids who bounces around lower division teams.
What do you think about the next generation of retired MLS soccer player then? Because
go ahead.
No, that's not wrong with that. What do you think about the next generation of retired soccer players then? And when you look at the last generation, you have guys like Chris Klein coming out. He's a college-educated man, comes out ready to just go into the front office and drive the sport economically with the background of having played. Are we going to miss that type of player in the next generation?
I think we're going to see a much smaller number of highly educated American soccer players as time goes along. That's just
we can list 5 off the top of our heads right now, Puppy. You got Chris Henderson, Garth Lagerwey, Chris Klein, Chris Leach just got put as a technical director of San Jose Earthquakes. I mean, there's these guys all over the league.
There's a head coach in this league who has a degree from more than one, but there's executives with a degree from Duke.
There's a player at NYCFC with a mullet with a master's.
Yeah, I mean, look, are we going to be that country for much longer? I don't know. I really don't. And you know what? The example is baseball, because that's also a numbers game of trying to churn out talent from thousands of kids. And a lot of kids get signed out of high school and go into rookie ball and A-League ball. Some of them go to college, and some of them get their degrees. But the number of college-educated players in baseball is a fraction of the total number of players, right?
If you look at the people running those teams, most of them are lawyers and stuff like that. It wasn't their first job. A lot of teams, they're people that came from other backgrounds, not from baseball themselves.
Well, the coaches are all ex-baseball players.
Coaches, yes. I'm talking higher.
The GMs are guys who had failed careers and then went back to school, like Billy Bean. I think he went back to school. Or a guy who never even thought about playing, was never even going to, Theo Epstein. Just a highly educated guy who learned statistical analysis, and now is a GM for the Cubs.
I want MLS to be one of the only leagues around where its commissioner is a guy that played in it.
Okay,
I think it's possible,
but most leagues don't have the commissioner job the way that we do. But that's okay. I see what you're saying. 619.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Hey, what's up, Bet Soccer Show? It's Enrique from LA.
Enrique, it's been a little while. We're getting all the old school people coming out. Enrique, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you guys are? Good. Touching on that topic, I think it's a matter of choice, because you can see some of these guys, they go to Instagram, they go to social media when they can, go to the books. I think it's a matter of choice.
Yeah, but there's no ladies on the books.
There's no ladies on the books.
I mean, unless you're taking an art class.
Do stuff,
Yeah. You're right on that.
It's necessary. I think it's necessary. I think that's a step that we need here that Galaxy has done, and I'm very happy that's happening. And it's a very, very big topic among all of the youth. Is like, do I go to high school or do I go to the academy? And that's where I think we talked about it before, where we talk about high school soccer level has gone down. But I think it's a matter of choice. My father, he's the one that taught me everything about football, and he's got a lot of experience. He actually talked to somebody. Somebody told him, listen, these soccer players, they have a lot of time off. So it's a matter of choice.
This is true.
The reason I called is I want to know what the Best Soccer Show thinks. I'm kind of getting to the point where enough is enough of this Josie promoting. Like when would we stop and realize that he's not what we want, and then just constantly from all these mainstream media, ESPN, they go, oh, Josie, and it's like, hey, stop, when do you guys think that's it, I was watching this replay from someone, MLS on Univision Deportes, and there's a clear path for him to run in, and he jogs, and then Herculez Gomez shoots, and if he would consistently run or actually sprinted, he would have gotten that deflection. But instead, he's not proactive, is what I'm trying to say. But,
Enrique, let me ask you a question, Enrique. Was Herculez Gomez signed because of Josie Altidore, or was he signed because of Robbie Finley?
No, the shot. It was a shot that on a replay that I was watching. Herculez Gomez
No.
He was running in.
Enrique.
I don't know if you guys saw that.
Enrique. Well, yeah, okay. We understand what you're trying to say. We're pointing out a specific moment. Jared's asking you why Toronto FC signed Herculez Gomez. They signed Herculez Gomez because Josie's not getting it done, or they signed Herculez Gomez because their option off the bench is Robbie Finley.
That is putting question is like why is Herculez Gomez coming into Toronto? What's really going on? That's very true. I mean, what's going on? Is he really not performing at practices? No. Is he? I don't know about this.
Yeah, they obviously overpaid for the guy. Okay, and look, he's gone. He's in a trough, Jared. I mean, the guy is at the bottom of of the curve right now.
He's at the bottom of a $6 million hole.
And you start to wonder. I mean, then the thought process. And look, I get this whole he's lazy, he's a grass killer, he doesn't run at all. I get this all the time on Twitter. I mean, my Twitter is littered with people.
So the question then is he the new Eddie Johnson?
I don't.
Is that unfair?
Wow.
Is it unfair? Doesn't there, how many isn't there things that are correlating in your mind right now when I say that?
No.
You don't think about a guy who gets paid and then takes it easy? That doesn't remind you of anyone? A guy with wasted potential that didn't make it in England? That doesn't remind you of someone?
I think we have to be careful about that stuff. There's a lot of things we probably don't know about his time.
Absolutely. I'm just drawing a couple comparisons here.
I mean, it's not as though he arrived in MLS and was just a disaster when they started the season. He was scoring goals. He was actually playing pretty well.
Eddie Johnson scored goals when he needed to get paid.
Yeah, but see, Josie's already gotten paid. You just defeated your own point, is what I'm saying. I just think the guy's in a slump. I just think he's in a bad place in his career.
But athletes go through this, but he is wearing it so like a wet blanket over his shoulders.
I know.
Back to what you were saying, the Toronto was playing phenomenal, and was Josie on the lineup? That's things we have to look at, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a good look. It's a fair. Thanks, Enrique. It's a fair point. If Toronto FC is winning games and Josie Altidor's not part of the lineup, and then he comes back into it and they're not winning games, you're going to make a connection.
I can tell you right now, I don't think Toronto is happy that what they had to spend money on in the transfer window was another striker and not a defender. That's not where their money should have been spent, and that's where they had to spend it. I think that tells you a lot about what Toronto has going on.
Had to.
Do you think they make a purchase they don't need to make?
Had to. I don't know about had to. I mean, I think you have a choice, and I'm not going to give them a pass because they chose to spend money on a striker when, okay, maybe they don't have the best striker core in MLS, but you can get by. You're certainly playoff quality with Giovinco scoring goals and buckets and Josie Altidore chipping in every now and then. I mean, the guy's still going to – I don't know if he's going to go through a slump where he doesn't score for months.
What it comes down to is you have a unbridled talent on a ridiculous streak in Giovinco, and Josie still can't find a way to get himself off. That is the part to me that says that they had to go do something.
But they've had moments. I mean, again, maybe you're worried about recent play, and that's how you view things, and there's no other way to look at it. But okay, let's just take Saturday for example. Okay. Josie Altidore not any worse than anybody else on the field for TFC. They got beat 3-0. Was he any worse than anybody else on that field?
No, but his job is to be better than 9 of them.
Okay, but he was probably marginally better than Bradley, or not any worse than Bradley. Giovinco was shut down, had 2 shots. It's the fewest number of shots he's had all season in 90 minutes. Their midfield basically did nothing. Warner, Giroux, and Delgado. I mean, they got housed.
The thing is, you're willing to give Bradley a pass. We're really willing to give Giovinco a pass. We're willing to give Giroux a pass because they have done well over the last few months. Josie can't say the same thing, so he wears that burden more.
You want to be fair about this? Okay, first of all, a guy like Josie Altidore is judged on how many goals he scores because that's what he does. He's a striker. That's what he's paid for.
That's what he signs up for.
It's easier to evaluate a guy like just with our eyeballs. It's easier to evaluate Josie Altidore than Michael Bradley. But if we want to be fair about this, it ain't like Michael Bradley's been tearing it up this year. It's not like
if we're going to be fair about this, it's not as easy to gauge.
Sure, but if I'm trying to, because I have no other way of doing it except my eyes.
I have seen great moments of Michael Bradley in the last month or two. Beautiful chip balls over the top, through balls, getting on the ends of runs and scoring. I can't see Josie running. He's not even chasing balls down. Okay. He's not pressuring from the front.
All I'm going to say is
Am I off?
No. Okay, look, again, I've heard this a lot. But and there are moments when Josie doesn't make the run. I know that. I'm not going to say he's 100% committed every time out. I also don't think his game is meant to be an all-action forward. He's not that guy. Now,
Robbie Keane is running down more balls than Josie Altidore is.
Okay, all right. That's fair. I also think, though, and this is just something to keep in mind, I'm not saying that the criticism of not running isn't valid, but it's important to keep in mind that the first thing people do when they want to criticize a player, when they don't think a player's playing well, the first place they go is lazy. The first place they go is he's not running enough. He's not doing enough. I mean, I think there are people who were pointing at Michael Bradley during the World Cup in 2014 and saying he's not working hard enough. And he was the man covering the most ground in the tournament. Now, again, midfield versus striker, difference of action. But still, I think it's easy for people to look at a striker if he's not scoring goals and say he's not working hard enough. If he touches the ball 10 times and scores twice, it doesn't matter what he did the other 75 minutes, the other 85 minutes.
No, and that's the unfair duality of strikers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's
accepted. It's an accepted catch-22 of strikers. You're as good as the goals you score. I'm sorry, and it sucks for guys like Michael Bradley, who you have to actually watch to see how he plays.
Well, but and for Josie, it sucks when you don't score. Then the praise criticism range for a striker is very.
I'm going to end this debate right now for you, Jason. I'm going to end this debate right for you right now. Have you seen anything in the last month from Josie that was any better than what you saw for him in Sunderland?
Gosh, I guess not. No, I guess
that's
not.
The guy they bought. That's the guy they got.
Okay. I think what bottom line here and sort of where Enrique was going is, and I will agree with him on this. Josie Outdoor is not an automatic starter for the United States men's national team. When we get to October 10th, we shall see what Jurgen Klinsmann does. Actually, we're going to find out with these 2 September friendlies coming up and their challenges.
I hope he trolls him so hard and brings Jordan Morris in and plays him.
We will find out if Klinsmann still thinks Josie Outdoor is a major part of his team, because my gut tells me, I mean, he went so long with Josie. Josie gets hurt in the World Cup. It's, oh my God, we didn't have anybody to replace Josie. We need Josie. Let's get Josie. He dropped the kid from the Gold Cup team. My gut says you're done unless you are really firing on all cylinders, unless you're really burning it up. You're done until you prove you're back to being something that can really...
And I agree, because this is a kid that wore the captain's armband 6 months ago in a friendly. You know, he's the guy he picked. And I think Jurgen Klinsmann may be embarrassed by that to a certain extent. He tried to put this guy on the right platform. He tried to put him in the right spotlight, and the guy's just not seizing it. And that's easy to say from our perspective. Josie may be trying his hardest every game, but if he is, it's just not showing. You
know, and I tend to be... I had a conversation once. Occasionally I'll do player ratings for ESPN. I did a lot of them this summer for ESPN FC during the men's national team run, the Gold Cup. And I had a conversation. It's not my favorite thing to do. Look, I'll do it. I know it's a fun thing for fans. They like to debate. It's an incredibly subjective job, right? Like, it's just impossible to watch a game and try to figure out exactly whether that player did everything he was supposed to do, if he was good, bad, whatever. We judge on a couple of moments. We see 90 minutes of soccer, and if you have 2 bad touches, wow, you're terrible. I'm giving you a 4. I had a conversation with an active player, a guy who's formerly in MLS and now in Europe, and he said, that's weird to see you do that. I didn't think you were that guy, because he wrote something. I might as well tell. It's Bobby Warshaw. Bobby Warshaw wrote this really good piece at Deadspin in which he sort of outlined, I think it was Deadspin, maybe it was Soccer Gods, outlined how he can go and do his job on the field. Now, he's a midfielder. Now, we just talked about how hard that is.
Yeah.
He can go do his job, leave the field, leave the locker room, go back to his house, feel great about what he did, go out the next day, walk down the street, and have somebody look at him and say, you played terrible. You were crap out there. And he did everything he was supposed to do as asked by his coaches in that game. And he felt good about it. And they said he would...
I'm going to be unfair here. I'm going to be unfair and tremendously blunt. As a professional player, he needs to not care about that.
No, I don't think he does. But I think his point was that what we see, especially on television. I'm not talking about live. I'm talking about on television. What we see on television with limited angles and again, I'm not saying Josie Outdoor has been good and somehow we've been tricked into thinking he's bad. I'm just saying, and Enrique's on Twitter saying that, a major fact here, a forward doesn't have to score goals. It depends on what he's asked to do. I don't know what Josie Outdoor is asked to do every time out by Greg Vanney. Maybe he's asked to
jog,
occupy space. Maybe he's meant, seriously, if your job is to occupy a center back so that Jovinko can get some extra space, so that you can get your wingers up the field and have them 1v1 versus fullbacks, Is Josie Altor's job really to like run hard, or is his job to make sure that center back is posted somewhere and not getting involved in tackles and closing?
I think if we have to create this many scenarios for why he may be bad, then that's saying something.
I agree. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to crack that door just a little bit. Again, this isn't even really about Josie Outdoor anymore. It's about the general sense that we have judging players, especially
evaluation, yeah.
Strikers who aren't scoring. Strikers who aren't scoring, man, it's almost like the most popular player on a football team is the backup quarterback. If a striker's not scoring, everybody wants him gone. Everybody wants him out of that team because
right now he's a cleanup hitter that can't connect.
Yeah. And if the thing is with baseball, if a cleanup hitter walks 3 times a game, he's still valuable. But we don't necessarily understand that when it comes to
you know what though? He's not going to get paid the big contract for walks.
No, probably not. 347-756-6276 is the phone number. I think that's the first time I've said it. Right?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think everyone just got it from the tweeting. Trevor tweeting it out.
You guys are the best. All right, so we.
I don't think we've hit anything on our list tonight, but that's just okay.
No, absolutely. Well, let's. Again, we don't have to do an MLS review. That's not really what people come to this show for. But we like to hit on the big moments, so we can certainly hit on some of the.
They come for shower talk.
What? Okay, so I've seen that.
By the way, favorite shower scene in a movie.
Oh man. This is gonna take me a minute or two.
I got one, so I can launch one if you need a second to think about it.
Okay.
By the way, you don't have to be scared. You can say the shower scene with Kevin Bacon full frontal and Wild Things. It's okay. My favorite shower scene.
Okay, hold on. I gotta find. I've already used the inappropriate drop like 3 times. I don't even know where to go with that one. I just do this.
Jay Rodius.
All right, you give me. I guarantee
the 60 seconds that made me a man.
Okay.
The shower scene in Stripes.
That's a good shower scene. That's the John Larroquette.
Oh, I wish I was a loofah.
Spying shower. It's completely pervy as hell.
Oh yeah, it's Porky's era.
Yes, it's very much. That was a weird time, and we should talk about this maybe on the bonus show.
Because no one really thinks about the fact that Vacation has a totally unnecessary shower scene with Beverly D'Angelo.
There's full frontal in European Vacation. They're not putting that in the Vacation movies anymore.
No,
not at all. They used to be just a gratuitous boob shot movies.
By the way, you can take that Beverly D'Angelo scene as your favorite shower scene if you want.
No, I'm thinking. I definitely wanted. For some reason, the only shower scenes that are coming to mind are like horror movie showers. They always have a shower scene, right? There's always a horror movie.
Psycho.
Yeah. No. Single white female. Maybe is there a shower scene in that movie?
Oh, I think she does walk in on her, doesn't she?
I think there's something. I think there's something there. I'm just obviously Psycho's famous, but there's a murder involved. Like I don't want to ruin it.
Prison movies.
There's probably we'll go find a list somewhere.
Shawshank Redemption.
All right, so Sporting Kansas City making that comeback. They were down 2 goals twice to Vancouver at home. I mean that's a factor to consider. They were at home, but to come back that way is why Sporting has the real look, the eye of the tiger of an MLS Cup contender.
But they have the same problem LA does. You can't keep putting yourself in that hole and digging your way back out. LA keeps doing the same thing, giving up the early goal, letting the team have the advantage, and they're good enough to turn it on in the end. But can you really ride that all the way through the season and into the playoffs? LA, maybe. They're a pretty savvy group that's been around the world a few times. I'm worried if KC can really do that. But teams all the times wear that moniker of comeback kids, and this may be them.
Well, you know what? If you're going to do that, or you're going to be that type of team, what you need is a guy that everybody can jump on the back of. Everybody can get on the back of 1 or 2 players. I think LA, it's Robbie Keane. Yeah. Well, no matter what Giovanni Dos Santos contributes, no matter what Giassi's artist does, no matter how much you get out of Gerard or some of those other players, Maganto, and sprinkle in it, it's always about Robbie Keane. If you need a goal, Robbie Keane's the guy that's probably going to get it. Does Sporting have that player? Because Benny Feilhaber's job isn't to score goals, it's to set them up. And he's done an amazing job.
But I think more than any other time I've seen him play, he's a leader now. I've never seen that from Benny Feilhaber till now. So maybe he is that guy. And just to reinforce my point, midweek also, RSL goes up 1-0. Kansas City comes back and gets the win. It's not just one game. But listen, I think Benny right now is a leader for Sporting Kansas City. He's come in, taken in that role. And this is a team that lost Arian Colin. Who was their lead? Kai Kamara was their leader a couple of years back. I'm surprised by this, to be honest. I would have said Graham Zusi would have been this guy. I don't think it's Graham Zusi. I think this is Benny Feilhaber's team.
By the way, I think this is going to be. I think that's appropriate for Benny, right? I think that's a good drop for Benny Feilhaber. I don't have one. I haven't created a drop for Benny Feilhaber. Maybe he just
that's a pretty nice one, man. That's pretty. I mean, he is smooth. I mean, he's the smoothest American out there right now. I don't know anyone that's got the silky touch the way he is. I mean, you're seeing him chip balls 20 yards over the top of the defender, put it right on a guy's foot. He's doing through balls. I mean, he's just in that zone right now, and it really disappoints me that we're not going to find a way to take advantage of it at the net. He's in the zone that Lee Win was in last season.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, not going to get any national team love. All right, so Sporting comes back and beats Vancouver. Obviously, that helped LA jump to the top of the Western Conference when they won in Texas against FC Dallas. Robbie Keane, Giovanni Dos Santos connecting for the winner.
Do you think that American journalists, soccer journalists, can ask Jurgen Klinsmann, why isn't Benny Feilhaber on this team? Do you feel that they have too much of a fear of being blackballed in some way that they can't ask that question?
I think it's been asked. Has it?
I haven't seen it addressed. I may have missed it.
Let's see. July 13th, 2015. Jurgen Klinsmann targets Panama win, explains Matt Beasler, Benny Feilhaber omissions. Hold on. Let me do search here so I make sure I find the exact.
July 13th. I may have been in Chicago. I apologize. I may have missed some of this stuff.
Benny's... it was asked. I mean, you can't account for the answer. Benny Feilhaber, it's asked. Despite calls for Sporting Kansas City's number 10 to be included, it's a simple answer, Klinsmann said. There are other ones ahead of him.
What does that even mean? It's like, that's something Yoda says about Padawans in the academy. I mean, that's not what you say about a guy that's producing and is ready to play for your team.
It's what you say when you don't have a good answer. It's what you say when the answer is not good enough. It's what you say when the reason for keeping Benny Feilhaber out of your team is BS. That's what it is.
Because no one's going to look. If you watch the last 4 games of New York City FC and you watch the last 4 games of Sporting Kansas City, who in the world is going to pick out Mix Diskerud as the better 2 players?
Yeah, and you know what?
He's ahead of them.
Challenging, it's those players who have challenged Klinsmann, those players who have given him, have questioned his authority perhaps, or given, had their own personalities. I mean, I think Mix Diskerud, for all of his lovely hair and all that stuff, has been a guy who has just done what Klinsmann's asked.
I'm gonna get even crazier here.
Ooh.
Long hair versus long hair? Benny wore it better.
Ooh. Do you think? I don't know, man.
Benny wore it better.
That's a little rough. That's a little rough on Mix.
I'm just saying. Mix has gotten to a point now where I think it's about 2 inches too long.
Okay. Look, Mauro Diaz was not in the team for FC Dallas. That takes away a little bit from that win. But look, LA had not been winning on the road, as you said. They get a win on the road. That's sort of, again,
come from behind on the road.
This is why I created the word juggernauting last week. They are starting to juggernaut a bit, and so are some other teams in this league. But LA's the one you have to be fearful of because of their pedigree, because of what they've done the last 4 years. And here they go. It's starting to rev up. And there's one of the most incredible things about LA is that you take Steven Gerrard and you fold him in and you keep going. You take Giovanni Dos Santos, you fold him in and you keep going. Bruce Arena's a master of this. And
I think this is kind of what you get with Bruce Arena when you let him run the front office as well. That you let him make the roster decisions, because he picked guys he knew, first of all, his choices, that he knew he could hit the ground running, and they're going to fit the plan that he was setting. Can you say the same thing about Jason Kreis? I don't think you can.
No.
I mean, you get the feeling that things are being forced upon him.
He didn't need to be that guy. He had Garth Lagerwey backing him up, doing that work. He didn't need to be. His job was to take the pieces Garth Lagerwey found him and make a team out of it.
By the way, speaking of Garth Lagerwey, how about the guy signing 2 players and both of them producing in their first game in Seattle this weekend? Very good job by Garth Lagerwey. Already, maybe it's early still, but right away you're seeing some talent that Garth Lagerwey's brought in on the fairly cheap. Doesn't have to break the bank to bring these guys in, and all of a sudden, I'm not betting against Seattle this weekend. 4-0. Obafemi Martin's back. More than Clint Dempsey, I think this feeds off Obafemi Martin's.
Yeah, absolutely. That's clear. There's an infectious.
He's the Seattle soccer version of beast mode.
He is the guy that makes them go. Right. Perfect way to describe it. They feed off of him in a way that they don't. I mean, Clint Dempsey is obviously an important player, and he scores great goals, and he combines well with Martins when they're on the field together. But he's got this more, and this is why he wasn't a great national team captain. He's got this more low level energy. He's got this smoldering thing about him, right? I mean, it makes him sexy, but it's a smoldering thing, right?
Yeah.
Martins is just he's a wind up toy. He just
look at his goal this weekend. He was just a head down battering ram through that defense. Somehow it's elegant and ugly at the same time, and that team, you just felt everything lift.
Yeah.
When he scores that goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, thank you.
You know, this is Seattle stopping the slide, stopping the rot. They've got a bit of a gap between themselves and the 6th and the 7th place team in the Western Conference.
Isn't that crazy to say?
I know. They should be able to get themselves back up and maybe start climbing. We'll see. But either way, they're going to be a playoff team. I think there's no doubt about that. Elsewhere in MLS, we had the only other game that I really think is notable for me, and it's because I called it on Rabble, and it was hella fun. Philadelphia and Chicago, 3-3. 6 goals out of that match was stunning, Jared. Absolutely nuts.
That's not the game you would have picked if you said there's going to be 6 goals this weekend, right?
No, not at all. And Sean, and that's the thing about the funny thing about it is,
Sean Johnson. Can we nickname him? Does he have a nickname? Can we call him like the Windy City Wall or something?
That's not bad. That's not bad. The Windy City Wall. That's pretty good. I feel like I need to do one of these. And I'm not positive I've ever given one out.
I don't know that even Tim Howard got that against Belgium.
I probably should have. I mean, it's probably fair to give Tim Howard like a retroactive 18 or whatever. I can't do it. But 18 babies for his performance against Belgium. But certainly Sean Johnson deserves it. He kept his team in the game down the stretch and gave them up. Now, I do think that was a botched call on the Chicago goal to equalize. I think that ball went out of bounds twice and was touched by Mike McGee with a hand. But okay, whatever. I mean, they're the bottom 2 teams in the East.
McGee thought he was playing keeper.
He does have that history. Absolutely.
I'll say this too: Philadelphia, unlikely unsung hero, Maidana. Yeah. Having a very sneaky good season right now. Sneaky good.
Philadelphia. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So
you kind of glossed over. You said that one of the other thing to talk about. I do want to talk about one other one. Not a big goal fest. Do you feel good or bad for Nate Borchers scoring the winning goal in stoppage time against RSL?
Do I feel good or bad for Nate Borchers?
Yeah.
Nat Borchers, what's his actual name?
Nat Borchers.
I mean, I guess I feel a lot of people talked about, that's got to feel good for him and scoring against his old team.
That's not how he left that team.
No, they cut him loose because of the salary cap. We all remember that. I mean, they also let go of Will Johnson, who they didn't want to let go of. And I think that Nat Borchers is the type of player who just wants to score goals to help his team win. He doesn't care who it's against.
If RSL could go back to the waiver draft of 2014, at the very end of 2014, do you think now they would not protect Luis Gil and protect Nat Borchers instead, not having to bring Olave to the team?
Maybe. And they also lost Salcedo. Remember, that was an experiment that went sideways for them. They've had a bunch of injuries to their center backs. Yeah, maybe they would have kept Nat Borchers. I mean, he's been good for Portland, a team that really obviously struggled with defense.
Great center back tandem up there with Ridgewell.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, speaking of shower scenes,
yes,
Pitch Perfect.
Oh yeah. What's the name of the song?
I don't remember the song. Titanium.
That's right. That's right. That is a good one. That is a very good one. I enjoyed that one.
I'm just looking at a list here since you brought it up. Weird song.
You literally Googled shower scene.
I did. This is from Complex, so it's not like the most gratuitous list. Because it's got the shower scene from obviously Psycho. It's got the shower scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off on this list.
When he's singing in the shower and making the mohawk with himself.
Yes,
that's an interesting one.
The shower scene from Elf, where Buddy's in the bathroom while she's singing in the shower. It's got the shower scene from Starship Troopers, which is just gratuitous.
There's a shower scene in shower. Oh, because there's men and women's together, huh?
It's a co-ed shower scene.
A little bit something for everybody.
It's got a shower scene from It, which I've never seen It.
I've never seen it.
Pennywise in the shower. Okay, that's yeah.
Doesn't the clown makeup just work like rub off?
I don't know how that works. Dress to Kill, which is an old movie.
Dress to Kill.
I think it's a movie about a stripper. So there you go. That's why you. Yeah, I think so. Or a housewife. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what that's what it's all about. Anyway, all right. So we've touched on the most important MLS games of the weekend. If we didn't get to your team, I apologize. San Jose won. I don't think that's a big deal. They beat Colorado. They're going to need a lot more to get anywhere close to the playoffs. New England, that's kind of an important win. You're supposed to beat Houston at home. That game took like 18 hours to play, Jared.
By the way, a shout out from Moose Snout on Twitter. Shower scenes, weird science. Both the guys in their underwear.
That's actually on the list as well. That's a good. That's actually that's a good one too. Other results that we haven't mentioned. I think that's it. I think that we've covered everything else that happened.
I think that's a pretty good coverage of the things of the week in hand. But a couple rumors out there. Maybe we can hit real quick before we get out.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it.
What do you think of Cristiano Ronaldo buying a fat pad in New York?
I think that's what rich people do. And I don't know that it means a lot, but sure, he's coming to MLS.
You know who has a fat pad in New York? Donald Trump. He ain't going on that field.
Yeah, this place is in Trump Tower, which...
Oh, I wonder if he bought Blazer's old place.
I don't think Blazer was...
Maybe he knocked down the wall between the cat house and the real house.
Maybe. I don't think Blazer was living $18.5 million large.
If you buy a place in Trump Towers, does it already come totally laden in gold and you got to take that crap off? It's got to be gaudy as hell, right?
I would love to see it. I would love to just visit a place like that. I've been in a very nice apartment in New York, an apartment I know is way, way beyond anything I will ever be able to afford, and it was, an average size apartment. It was a very nice with an amazing view. It was state of the art type of modern look, all that, but it was an average size apartment. We're talking about 900 square feet.
It's the kind of apartment that comes with a playroom.
This place is huge. It's $18.5 million. It's probably it's got the vaulted ceilings with the big ass glass view of everything in New York. I'm sure the balcony that is just like you could fit 50 people on the balcony. That kind of.
He will.
Oh man, I can't.
Doesn't mean he's playing for New York though, right?
No, and it doesn't mean he's playing for LA either. It doesn't mean he's coming to MLS. What it means is he's got a ton of money, and he wants to have a pad in New York. And his kid's American, by the way, or half American, obviously.
Yeah, some waitress he banged, right?
is that the way we're supposed to say
Damn, dog, that's in the ropes.
I got mine from banging some ops manager at an insurance place.
Okay.
What do you think? We're talking about guys going both ways then. Gyasi Zardes the Belgium. Is that the right move if it happens? Or is that kind of like the safe stepping stone kind of move?
I've talked myself into this. I really have. I mean, I think I would miss him as an MLS player. And I would
miss. Is he 24 at this point? Isn't that 23? Man. Is that a little bit too late to start with stepping stones?
No, not at all. Guys,
not late as an American. It's late as a regular European player, though.
No. Guys go. There are plenty of players who start out in their domestic leagues, grow into themselves, and leave at 23. That happens all the time. Now, you only hear about the ones who do it to England and the Premier League and the big clubs or Germany.
Yeah, I don't want him to make the big jump.
No, he's not ready for that. But I think this is stepping stone. I think this is the right stepping stone. I really do.
I think this is my man going out like at 12 p.m. when everyone's already kind of liquored up. He needs some easy stats.
Well, I mean, okay, Belgium's a decent league.
Decent league, but I'm just saying it's not the Premier League, which I like about it. Okay. It's like when Josie went to Holland. We're like, oh, okay, I can dig this.
If Gyasi's going to go, the place to go is a place like Belgium where he's going to get on the field. I mean, let's be honest. The only thing I ever care about with Americans going abroad is whether or not they're going to play.
Yeah, I don't know if they may qualify for any European tournaments this season or not. Otherwise, I'd like to see him go to a Rosenborg or to go to like a Anderlecht, if someplace that's constantly kind of vying for those positions. But I don't know where Genk finished last year. I could be talking out my butthole here.
I don't know which. Trevor might know.
Trevor always knows. He knows who finished third in Iceland last year.
Yeah, that's because he plays like Football Manager all the time.
He says usually a Europa League-ish team.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with the Europa League.
No, that's fine. That was good for Clint Dempsey.
All right, you've got something. Rumors of Andrew Wooten getting called up. I hadn't heard that one.
That's some German newspapers are reporting that Andrew Wooten may have gotten a call up for the next round of U.S. men's national team friendlies against Peru and Brazil. If so, he's a kid that's actually put a good scoring record together over the last few months. So.
Doesn't it seem like now, again, the flavor of the week for Klinsmann is now the two Bundesliga? I mean, and he's done the Bobby Wood thing, and not that
he's trolling MLS.
Not that there's anything wrong with these players. You think he's just trolling MLS at this point?
Okay, Andrew Wooten has had some good scoring. Who should get a call up if there's only one? Andrew Wooten at striker or Harry Shipp at midfield?
Probably Wooten. Shipp has not been on... He hasn't been great.
And I would also say the striker core is small enough that Andrew Wooten actually could help.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're going to play Gyasi Zardes up front, where he's not even playing now for his club team, but you do have that option. No Josie Altidore. You're running Aaron Johnson and who? Clint Dempsey?
Aaron Johansson and Clint, yeah, probably. By the way, I'm just looking at this for MLS reasons. How far down the list do you think you need to go before you get to an American on the Golden Boot standings?
I'm gonna say the leading American right now.
Yes, name, or you can just say what place this. Because
I'm gonna go 8th, and I'm gonna say it is. Man, dang it, Clint Dempsey.
It is actually 9th. It's Chris Rolfe, and Chris Rolfe is in a tie for 9th with guys like Obafemi Martins and Kaká, but also Will Bruin, Charlie Davies, Chris Wondolowski.
So Will Bruin is also, and Charlie Davies are also the top leading American then, not just Chris Rolfe.
Yes, Will Bruin.
Where is Clint Dempsey, by the way? I knew he had a lot of goals for the amount of games played.
7. He's got 7 right now.
Okay, so he's not that far behind it.
I mean, look, he started out well, went to the Gold Cup, got hurt, falling off a table. Now, whatever. He'll be fine. He'll be fine eventually. At least Seattle hopes so. All right, let's wrap this up. Anything else to tip in before we go?
Tune in for the bonus show, folks.
Well, I mean,
no, tune in. Look for it.
Yeah, let's lay that out, by the way. I don't think we've said that on the show. The bonus show, we've determined that the best thing to do is to not get in the way of the regular soccer show. So we're going to drop the regular soccer show every Tuesday morning because we record Monday nights.
Yeah.
And the bonus show, which is not ever soccer, is always going to be something weird and off the wall and whatever's on our minds. We're actually going to release that. Are we saying Wednesday, Trevor?
Thursday mornings.
Thursday morning. So you'll have a little bit of 2 times best soccer show. Wow. 2 times best soccer show, almost like the old days. Almost a little bit like the old days.
Yeah, and forgive us if sometimes we're a couple days out of touch then because we're recording it on Monday nights.
Yes, right.
But listen, if you like more of the movie talk, the TV talk, personal talk, whatever's on our mind, that's the show for you. It's going to come up in your feed as well. If you don't like that kind of talk, don't download it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Or download it.
Go subscribe. Go subscribe to the feed, the channel on YouTube. Best Soccer Show on YouTube. It's a Best Soccer Show channel. It's dedicated for us there. Go find it and subscribe. Hit the button like 1,000 times to make sure it works. Also, we have had very little response to this, and I get it. It's hard, and people who do this stuff for a living want to get paid, Jared. But we need a new logo pretty desperately, and we've gotten a couple of submissions, but we'd like to get some more. We'd like to kind of flesh out.
I like the idea of you and I on those Naked Lady mud flaps, just our silhouettes on 2 of them.
See, this is why we need a new logo designed by somebody else, not by Jared DuBois or myself. If you have an idea, shoot it over to Trevor at backheel.com. Is that the email address where they can find you? There you go. Trevor at backheel.com, or hit us up on Twitter at Best Soccer Show. All right, we're out. We got to go. We got to roll. We got to do a best bonus show. We're busy people. All right. Talk to you guys next week. Later.
I don't like this game. Your men are brutish and their play is ugly.
Eddie, what have you done for me lately? It's John Brooks! It's John Brooks! Get to the chopper!
Duh and or hello. Duh and or hello.
Damn, dog! Damn! Damn, dog, that's inappropriate.
Jay Rodius.
I mean, might as well keep it up so we can see each other. But
I mean, it's another channel. Okay, you probably need a light.
Oh, is it getting that dark?
It's getting dark. You look like you're in. You kind of look like you're sitting in your. Like it looks like something creepy's happening.
My arm's just moving really fast.
Oh man! All right. Do you have anything to roll with? Okay.
Yeah, I got some. If we're still rolling,
we are. We can go. I mean, I can.
I got two things I've been thinking about. Okay.
All right.
Both of them happened to me today. One. This would be easier.